made it home, I dug her out, then I made her one of my aces. Marijuana fragrance, this tree here is outrageous. Want me to play in your city? Send an email to my agent.
After a tough loss in Game 4 of the Western Conference quarterfinals, the Utah Jazz will try to redeem themselves on their home floor. Still up 3-1 on the Los Angeles Clippers, we enter Game 5 with another closeout game, another chance to put away this Clippers team that we've now faced in the playoffs for the past 2 seasons, becoming a bit of a rivalry. But anyway, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight to the Boston area, aka the King of Boston, and today we are back for episode 39 of the Utah Jazz Association on NBA 2K13, continuing on with the Western Conference quarterfinals, as I mentioned before, with a gameplay against the Clippers, obviously, as we need to close out against them. We're trying to close out the series once again, up 3-1 still, but this is a pesky Clippers team. Jared Billis is the one that really hurt us last game. Manu Ginobili is still a very pesky veteran. Blake Griffin is Blake Griffin. You kind of know what you're going to get out of him. So we'll have to see what happens. But either way, getting into this gameplay, obviously, guys trying to get riled up, trying to get fired up. We're back on our home floor. We're doing I guess the fans did a whiteout, so that's pretty cool. But either way, you can tell it's going to be a very big game, going to be a very important game. This means a lot to the series. You don't want to go down 3-2, or you don't want to be up 3-2, but then have to go back to LA for a Game 6. In which would be very easy for them to win, and then it's all down to a Game 7, which would be very hard. So this is a very big game as Paul George gets things started with the off the backboard alley-oop. That was very impressive there. Here's Julius Randle going to work. He kind of bodies Derek Favors, which is something you don't see too many people do these days. 4-4 is your score. Here's Paul George running the break off of the steal. He's going to end up lobbing it up to Iguodala. Andre Iguodala on the oops, and as usual, showing the replay on the oop. Check this out. Iguodala cocks it back with the left. I was very impressed that he finished with the left. You don't see dunkers too often using their opposite hands, but either way, Hibbert kicks it out to Curry for 3, and I'm surprised I didn't see Curry earlier in that play. He was open the entire time, and you've got to cover Steph Curry for the Clippers. You know what he can do. Here's Manu on a full court pass. That was really nice. Check out the cool layup right there. He kind of like scooped it up and under. It was really sweet. 13-9 Jazz on top. Here's Curry. He's going to dish it off to Zebo. Out to George for a mid. He's going to pump and drive. Finish with the left. Hop stepping in, using the body. Very impressive finish by Paul George. 15-11. Here's Iguodala trying to run the break. I was trying to run the break on this team a lot, and Iguodala gets the spin dunk on backup point guard Nate Walters, who was recently drafted in last Thursday's NBA draft. I can't remember quite where he went to, but I think he was drafted. Anyway, Nate Walters, nice young player, nice, kind of your typical scoring point guard, but either way, he's Adonis Thomas on the drive, hitting the floater. You don't usually see that out of big guys like that, but Adonis Thomas getting the job done. Here's a Sheik catching the inbound to Hibbert, out to Gerald Green, wide open for 3. You know I'm going to take that, and I'm going to make that. Gerald Green shot is pretty easy in this game. He gets that one to go. 22-19ers, Bayless on the break. Before time expires, dishes it off to Jamal Crawford, and no one really got their hand up, so Crawford easily puts that one in. 22-21 will be your score as we end off the first quarter. We were up by 1. Like I said, gotta win this game. I don't want to go back to LA for a Game 6. This would be a big loss if we did lose this game. Here's Walters on the steal, running with 3 teammates. A 3-on-0 fast break. That's too easy for the Clippers. We got to get back on defense better than that. 27-26, Clippers still on top by 1. Here's Alec Burks, the former Clipper, dishes it off to Adonis Thomas, who will fade away and put it in. Adonis Thomas with a very impressive game so far. Hit a nice couple nice shots. Here's Gary Harris for 3, though. I changed up his jump shot. I know some people don't like when I do that, but I changed it to Jerry West, which is like not an advantage. I just kind of think his jump shot looks cool. But either way, Manu Ginobili with the ball, giving it to Blake Griffin, and Griffin slams it home. When he gets into the basket like that, he's just too athletic. You really can't do anything about that. Anyway, here's Derek Favors spinning off on Julius Randle. That's still kind of a mismatch. Randle is really more in a small forward's body. He's kind of a tweener. So I was able to take advantage of that mismatch with him covering Derek Favors. Here's Gary Harris stepping back for 3. He had an impressive day. 8 points so far. 3 of 5 from the field. 2 threes on 4 attempts. 38-35. Zebo misses the jumper. Here's Paul George on the rebound. Slams it home with one hand on the standing dunk off the offensive rebound. Great rebounding out of him. Curry bringing the ball up the floor here. Quiet game from him so far. We're going to try and change that. Curry finds himself open. He stops, he pops, and he puts it home. 6 points on the day for him so far. We extend our lead to 8 points. Here's George on the boards, dribbling it back out. I'm going to give it off to Gary Harris, and Gary Harris is on fire in this first half. 11 points already on 3 threes, and it was a very impressive day so far by Gary Harris. Here's Victor Oladipo, one of my favorite players in this year's draft, and Oladipo dishes it off to Lopez and puts it in. 46-39, Hibbert with the ball. He's going to end up going to work on the post, or in the post, I should say. I think that was Samardo Samuels covering him. So I knew that was a bit of a mismatch. Samardo Samuels just not physical enough to cover Hibbert down on the block. So we're up by 9. Here's Samuels with the ball. Dishes it off to Robin Lopez, who scoops it in with the right, and the lead is down to 7. So the Clippers hanging around. We can't quite put them away. Here we're back up by 9. Here comes Paul George on the break. George spinning off up and puts it in with a dunk. Paul George is really putting the ball in, and he's dunking it ferociously, which is good because, you know, you obviously, when you got that kind of athleticism, you got that kind of height, you want to dunk it when you're around the rim like that. Don't risk missing layups. Don't be fancy. Put it in. Get the points. And because of that, we're up by 13 right here, but a nice bounce pass. That was a really sweet pass by Manu Ginobili to Jared Bayless, and Bayless puts it in. That's an interesting backcourt combo because Bayless really, he's a point guard, but he's a scoring point guard. He's a shoot-first point guard. And Ginobili, he's a shooting guard, but he's a phenomenal passer for a shooting guard. Really played point guard for the Spurs this past season as their backup. And, you know, it was very impressive what he's done. And obviously, it's pretty helpful that he is kind of combined with a scoring guard like Jared Bayless. It's an interesting combo. But anyway, Steph Curry hits the fadeaway right there. Now 60-45, Iguodala trying to cut to the basket. They give it to Paul George. Paul George puts in a tough layup. Paul George has had a really great game. He only has 10 points, but they're 10 impressive points, and he also has 7 rebounds. Here, Adonis Thomas gets the rebound off the miss and outlet to Bayless for the one-handed slam. No one got back on defense. So, like I said, Clippers hanging around, 12-point lead. We haven't really blown them out of the water yet, but Steph Curry trying to do that right here, coming off the screens, puts it up and puts it in. 11 points for Steph Curry, 71-57. Bayless with the ball, trying to go to work on Gerald Green. Tries to get by, scoops it in with the right. Nice layup right there. He got in that animation. I couldn't do anything about it. UC has 15 points in the second half alone. Crazy, crazy performance by him so far. Alec Burks, it's a step-back fadeaway. That was interesting to see. Alec Burks has become a solid role player for this team. Here is Jared Bayless running the break once again, and he's going to make a nice bounce pass to Ginobili. So he's just showing off that passing ability, which, like I mentioned, he's not really known for his passing ability, but he can make the good pass from time to time. That was a nice pass right there. Here's Paul George dishing it off to Derek Favors under the basket. That is too easy. Favors, much like much like Blake Griffin, when you get under the basket like that, it's hard to do anything with that kind of athleticism because he is just too big. He can go up and slam it home easily. So we have a 13-point lead ending the third quarter once again. Not quite pulling away, but we have a sizable lead, and I feel very confident going into the fourth quarter. Dish it off to Jared Bayless, what am I saying? Dish it off to Derek Favors on the baseline for the mid. Can't double team on the pick and roll and then have someone else rotate over. We got shooters on our team, and Favors' development of that you know, kind of baseline mid-range is really helped the team out. Anyway, still 13-point game. Here's Curry with the ball, dishes it off to Hibbert. Hibbert will go up and under on Blake Griffin, just too physical, able to get into the paint. Griffin not physical enough with him, but Bayless comes right back with a mid-range right there. 88-75. Bayless gets the inbound steal. Blake Griffin dishes it off to Ginobili for the left-handed slam, and just like that, it's a 4-point swing, and it is 88-77. But now we're back up to 93-77. Here's Iggy driving in the lane. Two-handed slam, and this game is just about over. The Clippers kind of made their run there when they got that inbound steal. I was feeling a little bit nervous. Bayless was really heating up, and you can't have Jared Bayless heating up because he will not miss when he heats up, but leads back to 16. Clippers trying to still stay in this game. A nice cut by Bayless, puts it in, back down to 14. 25 points in the second half. All of his points coming in the second half. Crazy performance by him. Bayless, though, he's a little bit fatigued here. Kind of fades away for 3, and he somehow puts it in. And the Clippers are not done yet. I don't know how that shot went in. That was crazy. Bayless, nice touch pass to Blake Griffin. Left-handed layup down to 7. 98-91. Here come the Clippers now. 194 Favors. Trying to do something. Gets bumped. Misses, but Hibbert is there. Hibbert did not have one of his best rebounding games. So that's only his 4th of the day. You gotta kind of live with that when you use Roy Hibbert. Ginobili, last chance. He gets blocked. Hibbert with the block. And we get the ball back. And that's going to wrap up this game. They would not foul. The Utah Jazz will move on to the Western Conference semifinals. Very big win for us. Like I said, we did not want to go back to LA. We did not want to have to play Game 6 in LA and then risk going to Game 7. That would have been bad. So we take home the series in 5 games, and that was very impressive with how the team played. We did well during the simulation. We did well when I played with them, and I think we have a team ready to make a title run. We'll see what happens. Anyway, that's pretty much going to wrap up this video. You can see the player of the game highlights. Paul George gets the player of the game. He did not have the most impressive stats, but either way, I felt he made some of the biggest plays. Just coming up on the boards, he was huge, making good passes. You can see him making tough layups here. He just made a lot of the tough shots today for us. did a lot of the little things, and I was very, very excited about Paul George's performance. Like I said, I want to use him more. I feel like I don't use him enough. I feel like I use Curry way too much, and I kind of neglect like Paul George in them. So really impressive game out of Paul George. 15 points, 5 assists, 11 boards, and a steal, doing a little bit of everything as I mentioned, and we win this game by 8 points, 102-94. So that wraps up this series. We are moving on to the next round. Very excited about what this team can do. You can take a look at the box scores right here, and you will take a look at the Clippers on your screen in just a moment. Anyway, that is going to wrap up this video, so I really thank you guys for watching. I hope you did enjoy. Hope you guys are excited for the next round, and so I'm out. Peace.